In the future, it must be the poor who run on the streets. This is because rich people are never short of time. In the future world, everyone has a timer on their arm. From the moment people are born, the timer will be with them for a lifetime. Time is both money and life. Whether it is eating or shopping, you have to use time to pay. Once your time reaches zero, death awaits you. Will is a poor boy with only 24 hours on his clock. But even so, he'll give a girl begging on the side of the road 5 minutes of his time. Every day Will keeps running to save time. His daily salary is 24 hours, which is only enough for him to live an extra day. So Will had to work hard every day. On this day, Will came to the bar to relieve his fatigue after get off work. He accidentally met a rich man here. This rich man has 116 years on his arm. It stands to reason that such rich people would not appear in the slums. Will kindly advises the rich to leave quickly, as this place is not safe for people with plenty of time. But it was too late, the robbers had already arrived. Will still wants to help the rich man. Will knocks out the robber when Regal vomits in the toilet. The two fled in a hurry and hid in an abandoned warehouse. Will is very puzzled by this rich man. Why did he come to the poor area? The rich man also frankly said that he has lived for more than 100 years, and he is tired of living forever. And he also told Will that in order to satisfy some people's desire for immortality, the controllers will continue to raise prices. Only by doing so can the resources of society be balanced. The rich man finally asked Will, if you were given 100 years, what would you do with it? Will replied flatly, then he wouldn't have to look at his arm every day. They talked a lot that night. When Will woke up the next day, he found that there were more than 100 years on his arm. The rich man gave him all his time. Will saw the words the rich man left on the window. Don't waste my time. Will found the rich man sitting by the bridge through the window, and he rushed out immediately. But it was too late, the time on the rich man's arm returned to zero, and he fell straight from the bridge. Will was forced to accept the huge sum of money. He started by adding 10 years to his best friend. For the rest of the time, he plans to take his mother to the rich district to have fun. But things backfired. Because of the temporary bus fare increase, Will's mother had to run home. But her time was running out, and she had to find Will to give herself some more time. Will also found that his mother didn't get on the bus, so he immediately ran to the direction of his mother's work. But before it was too late, Will's mother died in Will's arms. The pain of losing his mother made Will vow to change this corrupt social order. Will came to the rich area, but he has not adapted to the rhythm here. The way he ate quickly caught the waiter's attention.
You're not from around here, are you? You do everything a little too fast.
In order to adapt himself as soon as possible, Will walked into a time casino. All gambles here are at the cost of time. Will sees nearly 10,000 years of time on his opponent's arm. He bet all his time without hesitation, leaving only 20 seconds to reveal the cards. The other party was not afraid at all, and bet the same time. After all, the other party is the president of Time Bank, so this time is nothing to him. Fortunately, the goddess of victory is on Will's side. Will successfully won the bet, and he successfully obtained 1,100 years of life. The bank president appreciates Will's courage. So, the bank president invited Will to a banquet the next night. Will bought himself a sports car just for that. After all, it would be too embarrassing to walk to the rich man's dinner party. But Will didn't expect that a group of time policemen suddenly broke into the dinner party. And they came after him anyway. It turned out that the time police thought that the rich man who had given time to Will died abnormally. They thought it was Will who stole the rich man's time. Will was caught and had a huge amount of time forfeited. Only 2 hours were left for him to record a statement. Will understands that his previous status as a poor man will not be trusted by the time police. So, he quickly knocked out the 2 policemen, and then fled immediately. But there are too many police officers, and Will has to kidnap the bank president's daughter. With Sylvia as a hostage, Will escaped easily outside the house. But the police still gave chase. Will had no choice but to run away desperately in his newly bought car. The police quickly caught up and rammed Will's car with a police car. Will quickly stabilized the car so that it didn't cause the car to roll over. But he didn't have time to turn the front of the car, so he could only drive backwards. At this time, a truck came. The moment the 2 cars were about to collide, Will immediately adjusted his direction. Will gets rid of the cops. But Will couldn't stay in the wealthy district any longer, so he could only rush home. Bad luck always follows one another. On the way home, Will suddenly fell into a trap set by the robbers. The car suddenly burst out of control and rolled down the slope. The 2 passed out. The robber took the opportunity to forcibly steal Sylvia's time. But not long after, the sound of a police car sounded on the side of the road. The robbers had to flee quickly. When the two woke up, Sylvia found that she only had 30 minutes left. There is not much time left for them. Will hurried to find his friend, but was greeted with bad news. His friend died 2 days ago due to excessive drinking. The friend's wife is heartbroken and her husband wouldn't be drinking if it wasn't for Will's 10 years of time. Will is also very sad, and he hates the rich who make the rules more and more. The two can only sell Sylvia's jewelry for time now. But one day is far from enough. In order to overthrow the existing rules, Will needs more time. Will calls the bank president and asks him to take 1,000 years to save his daughter. Unexpectedly, the bank president refused. Because if these times flow into the poor areas, the existing order will be completely disrupted. After learning about her father's thoughts, Sylvia was very sad. She decides to go along with Will to teach her father a lesson. They drove into the bank and took part of the time container. Afterwards, they gave the remaining time containers to the poor here. Not only that, Will secretly sent 10 years of time to his friend's wife. The little girl who begged from Will before, and the poor people in the street, they all got help from Will. But Will's behavior is also more irritating to the time police. They quickly pinpointed Will's location. After the two of Will were cornered, they could only break the window and jump out to escape. But how could the police let them go so easily? In desperation, they could only run to the bus. But the driver recognized the two as wanted criminals at a glance. Will had to pay the driver for 2 years as compensation. Although he temporarily got rid of the pursuit, the crisis has not yet been resolved. To change the current situation, they have only one way. The next day, Sylvia came to the bank where her father was.
I want to surrender, but only to my father.
The bank president stepped out of the bodyguard.
You've hired more guards since I last saw you.
Thanks to you, I need them.
One too many.
This is the plan of the two of them. They took the bank president hostage to the vault on the top floor. After opening the vault door, Will was completely dumbfounded. There is actually a time container of 1 million years stored in it. Will carefully holds it in his hand. This is a treasure that can change the status quo. The two plan to give this time to all the poor, but the governor issues a warning. Allocating this time to the poor will only cause the order of time to collapse. Don't lie to yourselves, nothing will change. Because everyone wants to live forever. For the eternal life of the few, the majority must die. Hearing this, Will was instantly furious. He wanted to shoot the bank president, but finally held back.
No one should be immortal, if even one person has to die.
Chased by the police, the two brought time back to the poor district. Will gave the time container to the little girl and asked her to distribute time to every poor person. The two continued to flee, but were still caught up by the police. But the policeman suddenly felt something was wrong, and quickly looked at the time on his arm. It turned out that he forgot to add time. In this way, the policeman lost his life. However, the crisis is not over yet. There wasn't much time left for the two of them. At this moment, Will suddenly saw the police car. They hurriedly ran towards the police car, which had a machine to supplement the time. 1 second before the time reset to 0, Will successfully replenished the time, and then he quickly ran to Sylvia. This time he succeeded, passing time to Sylvia at a crucial moment. The crisis was finally lifted, and the two hugged each other tightly, feeling each other's warmth.